Welcome to 100 Yards of Football this evening. It's our NFL Draft Prospect Special. This evening, we're going to highlight Deonte Brown, offensive guard at the University of Alabama. I'm your host, Vincent Turner, and helping me to dissect this young man's game, he's the number one coach in all of high school football here in the state of Georgia. He's a tremendous line coach, so who better? And he also is the number one fan of the number one team in the country, the University of Alabama. So he knows the program inside out, and he has inside analysis of what they do over there at Alabama. He tells me all the time it's a standard. So welcome him to the floor as we break down Deonte Brown, offensive guard at the University of Alabama, is my man, the very talented Kevin the Bull Jones. So if you like the video this evening, please come in and share it. So, Mr. Jones, tell us why Deonte Brown is going to be a special player at the next level.
Well, first of all, hello, Vincent. How you doing? And it's great to see you guys. Great to see y'all in football land. Okay, so now that we're back in football land, I told y'all that Alabama's going to win that championship. I told you that Tom Brady was going to get to the Super Bowl. But we'll leave that alone for right now, Vince. Let's talk about Deonte Cornbread Brown. Listen, before we start, Vincent, can you please tell me, because, listen, I want to give some love to the big guys in the trenches. Why all of a sudden, when they get a chance to get some glory, they got to be nicknamed something dealing with food? That's the biggest thing that gets me. Why can't he, even if you wanted to call him Pancake, Deonte Pancake Brown, like when the offensive lineman drives the defender into the ground when you're blocking, at least give him something a little more that gives him a little love. All the teddy bear, let's call him what he is. He is his own version of a Terminator on offensive line. Okay, so Will Anderson is the Punisher. His family let me know that, so I know that now. So now let's go ahead and give Deonte a big name. Give him a big hitter. Let's call him the big hitter. How about that? Because what he does on the offensive side of the ball for the top, not one of the top. It was the top offense in all of college football. Number one in passing efficiency. Number one in total yards, number one in scoring points. Okay, Deonte Brown was part of that magnificent unit, Vincent. He did a fabulous job being one of the aggressive guys in that interior line. And when they all move at the same speed, you have what we call beautiful results. It's like a dance. And that's what Deonte Brown was part of. At 6'4", 350 pounds, that's what he's listed at. But he came to Tuscaloosa, just south of 380 pounds. He wasn't one of those kids that came in, early signing period. He had to finish out school. And so here's what I appreciate about this young man. 5 years enjoying the process under Coach Saban and down at Tuscaloosa. Okay, 5 years. He's a fifth-year senior. Had to be redshirted. Had to lose weight. Okay, he was already strong, Vincent. Bench press over 500 pounds. He was the leader in squatting weight. That means you put that weight on your shoulders and you squat down, almost make a seat and then pop back up. He beat Deron Payne. He's got the record for the highest squat ever for University of Alabama football, 675 pounds. That's what he did. So we're talking about a massive, strong kid who's going to be a joy to watch on the next level.
One thing I can say about Deonte Brown, I thought he was a very underrated football player along the Alabama offensive line. And the one thing that I came away impressed with, he's a young man, he's power at the point of attack. Well, when you watched him play, and he played against all the top-level competition in the SEC, they played 10 games this year. He was very, very powerful inside. And I like his hands. He had that punch, as you say. That punch, when you punch him, your head go up like that. Deonte Brown was a serious football player. And the most thing I liked about him that I think he really didn't get credit for was his pass protection. And maybe you can elaborate on that a little bit.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because when it comes to the run game, and you mentioned it, quick feet, here's one special gift that he was blessed with. And if you look at a person that big, he had very small ankles. That's something that head coaches and offensive line coaches always look at on the offensive lineman. They always say they don't want the offensive lineman to get too girthy in the midsection. They don't want them to have that wide butt. They don't want them to have too much meat on those thighs. But guess what? That's what made Deonte Brown so special, Vincent. He had all of that. He's wide. He's wide angled. He had quick feet. Played basketball in his younger years before he was 10 years old. He played basketball before he played football. Didn't play football until he's 10 years old. Okay, so he had a nimbleness already to him. And you mentioned his explosiveness. That is one key attribute that he has that sets him apart for somebody so big. Okay, so let's get back to the passing situations. Here's what he does well. A lot of times you'll see in the NFL, those grown men will run right over you. As soon as you kick side or you quick set, we call it, where you take 1-2 quick steps and then you sit it down, which means you hunker your behind down, and we call it anchor. You have ability to anchor down, just like a ship when it's in the sea and you drop that anchor for it. That means the ship ain't moving nowhere, Vince. So that's what Deonte Brown does well. He can anchor so well, and he's so wide. He has a blocking radius that is extremely long, and he's able to be nimble foot with it. So when those veteran grown men in the NFL try to run right over the top of him, that's where he's going to excel and be just at their level, if not better. He's going to be able to handle that initial engagement. Okay. And when you handle that initial engagement, that's the most important part of it. And then the second part is dealing with the hand fighting. Now, that's one area he's going to get a baptismal, in first year in the rookie, because he's had to deal with those men learn how to use their hands for a living. Okay. And so being able to slide protect is very good for him. So in his radius, which is 3 yards from the side, left to right, 3 yards back, 3 yards upfield or downfield, should I say, he's awesome. He is what you call pretty in that interior line because he can handle somebody by himself on the collegiate level. That's what he did. So now it's time for him to go to the next level. He was on an offensive unit, Vincent, that gave up 11 sacks the whole season. But Deonte himself gave up half a sack, just half a sack. Now, imagine that after playing 13 games, you playing the top teams in the nation. You playing a Florida, okay? You're playing Ohio State. I mean, that's just amazing to play in a Georgia. And you only give up half a sack the whole season because when you're that wide and you can move, guess what? That defender on the defense side of the ball has a longer attack point to reach the quarterback. And that's one asset that Deonte has that bothers defensive coordinators because how do you get around somebody so wide? He's all that in the back chip, like my granddaddy used to say. And that's what makes him special. Now, one-on-one situations, that's one thing that he's going to have to elevate and get his game better because he will face those veteran guys that when you put your big hands out there, and that's, as you mentioned, Deonte has great hands, you're gonna have to deal with those grown men. They're gonna have all kind of tricks of the trade. You think you're in a Jet Li movie, a Bruce Lee movie, when those defenders start using all those moves. Just imagine having to play against Aaron Donald. Who's only 285 pounds, and he has six-pack muscles in his stomach, but he's quick and nimble, and he's powerful. Okay, he's just as strong as Deonte Brown. So Deonte is going to have he's going to have his challenges, but that's what makes him an elite offensive lineman. And the greatest part I love about him is during the season, you play 13 games, you only have 4 penalties that you'll call for. All officials say if they really wanted to, they could throw a flag every play. Well, yes, they could. Okay, and receivers push off every play too, I might add. But anyway, we'll come back to that. But listen, only 4 penalties. So we're talking about engaging on blocks, staying on your blocks, moving in your space with your defender, and having elite height, balance, weight distribution, and being able to be nimble enough at his feet to be able to play. For Coach Saban to take him as a freshman, as a senior in high school, even though then he was weighing 330 pounds. For Coach Saban to take him, he was one of the top offensive guards in the nation. He saw something in him, Vincent, that explosiveness, that quickness, agility, that power, and the power was already there. So that's why, even when he deals with the pass rush, he's comfortable in his space. And he doesn't have to chase too far because he knows where he's supposed to be in his landmarks to get his feet moving. I think he's going to be exceptional on the next level. He might even surprise some people.
When I look at the young man's game, it's only really one offensive guard that I've seen in my years of watching football. It reminds me a lot of Doug Wilkerson, that played offensive guard for the San Diego Chargers that came out of North Carolina Central. I think that you have some people in North Carolina. And when you look at Doug Wilkerson's game, he was a guard with that Dan Fouts offense. You could tell he stuck out on the film. Deonte Brown, to me, every time I watched Alabama, this is me personally. Now, they talked about Alex Leatherwood. They talked about Landon Dickerson. But to me, the man was Mr. Deonte Brown. And as you said, all the skills that you just mentioned, I check it off as an A+ with the young man out of Decatur, Alabama. So the final word about Deonte Brown, Coach Jones, what's going to make him a special player and why you think NFL teams are going to fall in love with him?
Well, Vincent, he wanted to, he's the second youngest of 6. Okay. He's the third person in his family to go off to college to play football. Okay, so he is a special kid in himself. Alfonso Pettis played running back at Wyoming, and Marshe Dotson played running back at Florida. Those guys, Marshe's cousin and his brother Alfonso Pettis, played at Wyoming. So he's not new to the process of success, is what I'm really trying to say. He's a mature young man. You get a chance to see a young man who went through, he can elaborate on the process of being an incoming freshman, being redshirted, having to wait your turn, have to physically develop to where you need to be. Yeah, you're strong, but you need some other things to work. We got to get your weight down. This is a young man that was so dedicated to getting that weight off that, those at University of Alabama, they have those, what they call those legendary breakfast club meetings. That's those workout sessions. We call them OTI in high school where I'm at, opportunity to improve. But Cornbread Brown had to go to those breakfast club meetings, if you know what I mean. And that means you up and running at 4:35 a.m. in the morning. But that kid never quit. And the process of people, he had some adversity, Vincent. He got suspended, missed 4 games, in 2019. This is a kid who said, I believe in the process here at University of Alabama, and I'm not leaving. I'm not going to trade it, but to go to another school and go in the transfer portal. I'm not going to say, listen, I was a 4-star recruit coming out of Decatur, Alabama, playing for Coach Perkins at Austin High School, and I'm not, I'm that dude. And now here I am. I got to sit out. I guess just practice my freshman year. I'm going to sulk. He didn't do that. He had some fantastic character about him that allowed him to stay in school for 5 years, be able to be the best football player he can be. And even though there are outstanding players on both sides of him, okay, he played all 4 positions in the interior line, meaning he's played all 4 positions. Played him in high school, and then when he got to the collegiate level, he played on the left side at guard, and he played the right side at guard. In high school, he played left tackle, Vincent. So what does that tell you about him? He's had nimble feet from day one. But this man, who through adversity with his weight made it a positive, and at 350 pounds, that's what he's listed at. We're gonna find that at combine. I'm quite sure he's gonna come in there under 3. He's gonna make a sweltering 340, a pretty 340. Watch when the combine comes, and he's going to be able to play at the next level and achieve the success that he always dreamed of. When I look at him going into the draft, Vince, here's the thing about the draft. This is an unbelievable draft when it comes to skill receivers and secondary kids. And unfortunately, in that top round, he might not be a first-round draft pick. But this is what I can tell you. You got of the interior linemen that are coming out, you got Trey Smith at Tennessee. You got Wyatt Davis coming out of Ohio State, the center. You got Creed Humphrey from Oklahoma. You got some unbelievable kids coming out. Okay, here's what's going to happen, and even your own teammate Landon Dickerson. Okay, I believe that this young man still has the ability to either go at number 38 to the Bengals or at number 45 in the second round, middle of the second round to the Jaguars. And if that doesn't happen, watch somebody like John Elway and the Denver Broncos take him in the third round as the 71st pick in the third round. I believe this kid is just that good. Okay, there are more offensive linemen on this team that are going to make it in the top 3 rounds than last year's LSU team. And yes, I said that. So here we have the emphasis of being one of the great offensive lines to ever play on the collegiate level. They've proved it. And that's why they have the natty. Oh, I'm sorry, championship. I think that's number 18. I don't have enough hands, but it's 18, Vince. 18.
Final words this evening about Deonte Brown and your fabulous program. Oh, let me say the best program in the country, the University of Alabama.
It is truly a blessing to watch those kids. You know, I marvel, and I shared this with you earlier when it was time for those kids to announce. Did you notice how when those kids announce on all those other programs, they're on their own social media, and they're I'm not calling it blurting out, but it's a me time for them, and they make it all about them. And yes, it is about them. But did you notice how Coach Saban has a press conference and he allows his players that are going into the draft to articulate, why they stayed, why they believed in the process of success, why they believed in Coach Saban, why they didn't leave when everybody else can jump up and go somewhere else because the NCAA allowed everybody one free pass to get up and leave. Why did these kids stay here and decide, even after last year when LSU took the riches and everybody was bragging about how great they were, one of the greatest programs ever, we turned around and just demolished all the records they put up. And then when you get your time of glory, Coach Saban brings them all together and he gives them the floor, them the mic, them the chance to talk to the media and say, this is why I came here. And now when I'm going up to the next level and I'm going to reap the rewards and benefits of my hard work. And as Coach Saban says it, for all you Bama fans out there, Coach Saban tells the players, you making sure it's a point to increase your value. It's an amazing word. Some kids decided to opt out and not play this year. Okay. Don't knock them for that. Okay. But guess what? Everybody at University of Alabama decided to play this year. And that's why they got a ring. It went down. It's a beautiful sight. Roll, Tide, roll.
Well, it's been a pleasure this evening. We had a fan from somebody else that was watching the video tonight as we highlight Deonte Brown, offensive guard of Alabama. And that person, you was going on your tremendous Alabama accolades. They just said, the young man, Timothy Nelson, said, okay, I don't know what he meant by that, but maybe he tired of hearing about Roll Tide. I don't know. I can't say. But thank you, man.
Vincent, are they tired of hearing about Tom Brady? Because last time I checked, he's going to play in another Super Bowl.
Well, that being said, greatness is about winning. And when you win at a high level, you can't get mad. You might not like it. You might not like the team. But what's great about this game of football, you can talk about how great you are, but it's all about the rings, man. Whether it's the national championship or the Super Bowl, that's what you're going to be remembered as. So,
can I leave with this in one parting word? When these young men have the unbelievable task, not just Deonte Brown, but all young men that play collegiate football to weather the storm and navigate through everything we've been going through with the virus this year. And I will tell you this much. I am so impressed because after what we went through in the high school season, Vincent, I mean, the most amazing thing, and I shared this with you earlier, is just, playing and not having any fans there, that not having my family at the games, and just the most amazing thing. It was a gut check time for me that, these are the times we're in. So my hats off. I salute everybody that went through the trying times. And I also want to give some respect to the guys that are about to play on the FBS or FCS level, that are about to open their season real soon. A lot of friends of mine on the collegiate level getting very excited. But I'm praying for them as well, Vincent, because with the way the virus and all the issues and athletic departments, they have their own storm to go through. So I'm saying right now, hats off, and hats off when it's all said and done about all those fantastic players that made sure they gave it everything they had, and the kids that didn't play, Vincent. My prayers are with you as well, and your ability to get ready for the next level. And I hope you're safe from harm.
Okay, so if you liked the video today, please come in and share it. By the way, Coach Jones, Timothy Nelson is a Georgia fan. So he just put that up on the screen. But if you like the video today, please come in and share it. Our final words about Deonte Brown. You're a great football player. I think any team would be glad to have you. I consider you the best offensive guard in the draft. And that being said, sweet home Alabama, to Deonte Brown and the University of Alabama. I'm Vincent Turner, the only son, and the baby boy Chester and Inez Turner of Memphis, Tennessee, the 901. Thank you, Coach Jones, and y'all have a very blessed week.
Roll Tide.